Hey guys, this is Savannah of earthandwater.co. We're exploring the chakras one by one. This is the 7th episode in the series, so please go back and listen to the other ones if you haven't, because it's gonna, I might lose you somewhere because I covered it, but I can't cover everything in every episode because then they'd all be like an hour long, and I don't know. I know podcasts are often an hour long, but I'm just not that type of person. Anyway. We're busy, we got stuff to do. Moving forward, this is the third eye chakra. It's best to work on them from the root up, so this is the 6th chakra, 7th episode, I reiterate. But it is people's favorite chakra generally because it's the quote-unquote fun chakra. It's the magic chakra, the where all the magic powers come from chakra. Some people are naturally gifted in this chakra, as everybody's naturally gifted in a specific chakra. And that just kind of depends on you and it, and I don't know if it was like a how you're born type of thing. I guess it is. But it's pretty easy to know the people who were born with a gift in this chakra because it's the ones that, are familiar with the term crazy. And I make a joke, but honestly, I really do believe, and I am learning that I am not the only person who has thought about this and believes this and researched this and looked into this. So that's fine because people are sending me links to it, and I'm just loving it. I'm loving having other people explain the theories that pop into my own head. But anyway, I believe that most, not all, but most, if not all, honestly, but then, we get into trauma and stuff. Anyway, most anxiety problems are due to psychic gifts in this area that we just don't understand. And we don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going on, and because as a society, we've kind of shut all of this off, right? We've been told that's ridiculous, that's silly, that's not real, all sorts of stuff. And we've only, as a society and culture, started recognizing and looking towards mental health in the past, less than 100 years, way less than 100 years. So not only does that equal a lot of hundreds of years where we were just letting our mental health tank and run rampant and not having a clue what was going on and just kind of all sorts of stuff, but also a lot of hundreds of years where we were not entertaining this or exploring this or allowing this and trying to understand it and what it means and all of that. And I don't want to plainly go out and be hearing things and seeing things, but I mean, more or less that's essentially what it is. But it's not like what society and culture has been made us to believe it is. Are there some crazies out there? For sure. But and I hesitate to even use the word crazies, but please throw me other words. I don't know if that one's bad or not, but I mean, anyway, we're very quick to dismiss anything that we do not understand, oftentimes without even sitting and trying to consider where that may fit into our reality, which has led a lot of us practical minded types of people to shut down this chakra, this area, especially if there's anything quote-unquote crazy going on there that we don't understand. But then you have other cultures, especially indigenous cultures that haven't been touched by Western modern society, whatever, that take these people who are more prone to quote-unquote psychotic breaks and episodes and whatnot, and they label those people straight off the bat with being gifted to the other realm or the other dimensions and, the rest of that which is not physical that we don't understand but are definitely a part of. And they nourish these people to be shamans and leaders, essentially. Healers, interpreters, lots of things. But they give them a place in society and it all works out very well. It's a very healthy community aspect thing that is great, and I think that we should really get back into. But it's a slow progress, slow process, but we're making progress towards the disconnection of the physical and the spiritual that happened. I spoke on this in the last episode, how we used to be mostly spiritual beings, and then something happened to where we didn't trust any of that anymore. So then we turned to the purely physical side of things, but that's really, 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 really not healthy either. And so now we're finally hitting a place in time and culture and society and the world, the new age. That's what this new age is all about, is bringing the spiritual and the physical together to kind of coexist. And I don't know why we're having such a hard problem with this, considering how prominent religions are, which is supposed to be spiritual, but is not always. And I've talked about this before. Well, I wrote about this a lot. I may not have spoken about it much, but anyway, there's a lot of different directions that we're all having to navigate on our own, because there's not a whole lot of direction out there, because some of us need to unlearn the restrictions of society, and then some of us need to dial it back a little to find some balance in all of the aspects of life. And y'all are the ones that I keep talking to go back and start at the bottom, because I know y'all skipped ahead. But we all have to learn how to figure out that balance between healthy and injured, and too much or too little, the teeter-totter that is life, the balance between the physical and the non, the creating space and the active and the passive, just all these different areas of life, just so that we can not only live our best lives for ourselves, but for the people around us. Because, man, do our friends and family suffer when we're not balanced. And then that radiates out into the world and the community and everybody else you come in contact with, and everybody that they come in contact, and ta-da, before you know it, we've all co-created a mess. Unintentionally, of course, because if it's not specifically intentionally, then it's by default. And if it's by default, then we're operating under the programming and the false narratives that trauma and society and culture that hasn't progressed, and all of the things that taught us not good, positive, love, compassion oriented type of behaviors and whatnot. So anyway, this is our center of knowing and understanding and decision making and trust in ourselves and how we connect and interpret and connect. I guess it's another sense, the same way our eyes see and our ears hear and our skin feels and our mouth tastes. This is our sixth sense, another way of interpreting the world around us, but it's the more subtle world. This is our sense for the subtle world, the world of energy, which is both physical and non-physical, and encapsulates, encompasses everything that exists in the universe, from the largest scale to the smallest. So it's kind of a big deal. There's like 75 plus other things that tuning and understanding and growing and building and exercising this specific chakra and essentially muscle can help you unlock and do, and they're all fantastic, and some of them are outlandishly there's no way. But the more I learn, the more I'm like, oh, well, okay, sure. Yeah, I guess I see where that could kind of, yeah, all right. But anyway, if you want a list of those, I wrote a blog post on it, but it's also in the complete book of chakras, Leilwinds by Cindy Dale. That's where I get most of my information, is from her. But I'm not interested in trying to convince you that you can levitate or fly. We just need to be able to trust our own decision making, right? We just need to learn how to put up blocks, like energetic blocks, between ourselves and negative people, so that their aura and energy doesn't rub off on us, right? Really basic stuff, really easy stuff, really simple meditation type of stuff. What brings everybody to this chakra, not everybody, there's some who are chill, but most people come to this chakra because they want telepathy, or they want mediumship, clairvoyance, they want astral projection, they want all of these cool like just stuff, psychic abilities. But look, dial it back a little bit. Before we progress into stuff like that, are you completely sure that you're happy with your decision-making abilities? When you're around a negative or angry person, an energy vampire, shall say, do you thrive over there, or is it like bad? Do you short circuit when you're trying to figure out dinner and you get too many questions asked to you? I do. So like the other stuff is fun, sure, but let's make sure that we can do the simple stuff before we try to start progressing, because if we can't do the simple stuff, then we're not ready to progress anyway, because our intentions, our minds, our hearts, and all of that are not attuned properly yet to the whole and the good of. Remember, progression and change in all forms is slow yet consistent. Take your time. You have it. You have all of it. You got to learn how to walk in heels before you can learn how to kickbox in them, is the analogy that just came to my head for some reason. But honestly, most people, much less walking in heels, are not even at the walking stage, okay? Not only do you still need tennis shoes, but you probably need help standing in a lot of places. And like, I don't want you to take offense to that. It's not meant to be like, oh, you're a child or you're a baby or you don't know anything, but it's just the natural progression of learning things. You don't know how to tie, you don't even know that you don't know how to tie your shoes if you've never seen a pair of shoes in your entire life, okay? And then the next step is realizing that shoes exist and they need to be tied. And now you know that you don't know how to tie your shoes, okay? The next level from there is, okay, now I've learned how to tie my shoes, but I gotta think about it and I gotta work at it, and it's kind of a task. And then you can move on to, okay, I know how to tie my shoes and I can do it without even thinking. I'm so good at tying my shoes that I don't even really know how to explain to you to tie shoes anymore. Trust me, you probably don't. I've been trying to teach my kid how to tie his shoes and relaying that information. But anyway, start slow, work on a couple of things here and there. I'm a big advocate of only working on one thing at a time, because you can't really give it the attention and energy it needs unless you do. Pour all of you don't want to fill up too many buckets. You just want to focus on one bucket at a time, because that's how progress is better made. So anyway, the Sanskrit name is Ajna, which is awesome because it means command, okay? Command. The power chakra, the superpower chakra, the enchanted magical gift chakra is command. That's just wonderful. That's just absolutely wonderful. Its color is indigo and its element is all of them, because it is everything. It is all of everything, like just the energy in the energetic world, which encompasses literally everything. If you have problems here, you may be having headaches, visual issues, insomnia, face sinus issues, stress, nausea, hearing problems. So, it's located in the center of the forehead, so it's going to encompass all of those types of things, even though we're fixing to get to the crown, and that also kind of encompasses all of those types of things. But the more you understand and work with the chakras, the more you'll be able to differentiate one from the other. But like I've said several times, they all kind of blend together because we are a whole individual, and there really is we can box them and separate them and say this goes to that and that goes to this, but that's really not how the universe works. It's all like one. It's all just one big thing. It's a whole. It's just, so yeah, meditate on that for depth thoughts of the week. Memory issues, which, oh my gosh, I could probably do a whole episode on dementia. And because I had 2 grandparents who had dementia, and it was fascinating to watch their progression in the disease and compare it to my belief system, this kind of stuff. Because, a theory is that they're just slowly transitioning into the next realm. So it would cause hallucinations or quote-unquote hallucinations, because, talked about how mental health things may or may not be what we think they are. And But yeah, so anyway, I said the word fascinating. It was absolutely terrible, but we're going to move on past all of that and just skip to, that's all, folks. Let's go talk to me in the next episode about the Crown Chakra, the last chakra in the series. Go us, we made it, here we are. Come join us in the Facebook group. And as always, notes are on the website. I leave a few minutes after each episode for you to just exist and breathe and relax your shoulders, and 2-3 minutes for some meditation music. Anyway, enjoy yourself. Namaste. I'll talk to you later.